here with this Macintosh SE30, or excuse me, this is just an SE. Anyway, I was able to get to the motherboard of the thing, and we've got this, what looks to be the original clock battery inside here. A Varta, made in West Germany, MH13654N, 3 volts, and you know, it's 30 years old, but it still reads 2.949 volts. This thing's lasted a long time. I know I've seen it on the internet, a lot of people have issues with the socketed clock batteries for these old Macs, and I think it's just safe to go ahead and assume that this guy is a bit of a ticking time bomb. So safe to go ahead and remove it and replace it with something else. I've got these generic 2032 coin cell batteries, which are very common. And I was thinking of somehow wiring in a replacement for that by either using one of these sort of like dish style battery holders, or if the legs are too far apart on that, I might be able to use something like that and just leave it free dangling, connect it up correctly. I think I'd like to prioritize this one just because it would be the tightest, and since we need 3 volts and this guy's designed to take 2 batteries, 2 cells, this would give us obviously 6 volts. So I would need to modify that somehow to only take one 2032. The electronic supply store that I went to only had this type for single 3-volt battery. So I'm going to proceed with trying to desolder this guy and see what options we have for hooking in a new battery holder. I'm trying to set up this shot using like limited camera equipment, but I want you to see here, this is the back of the PCB, and our battery is negative here and positive here. I haven't decided yet if it looks like this was a replacement battery or what, but I'm trying to scope out, like I was talking about, the potentially using this guy, like this little single battery holder. Now it's kind of hard to tell, but the legs there are considerably farther in than where the battery's at right now. You can see there's a big difference there. Now there's also these 2 pads right here, and right here, which are not populated or not used, and I'm wondering if those were for an alternative like battery setup, like perhaps this was for a different spec battery, or perhaps like a sort of 2 leads were used because it was one of those little case style ones that are problematic on other machines. So I'm just going to show you really quick. Can I focus on that? All right, well, the focus isn't going to be quite right, but perhaps you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take a measurement of where the battery's at right now, the 2 leads. So there and there. We've got our 2.949 on the multimeter. Now I'm going to try those 2 unpopulated solder joints as well, because I'm pretty sure that those are just another location to mount a battery, and that might work in our advantage. So I'll go ahead and test it on those 2 pads. And I'm also getting 2.949 there. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm good to use those two pads. I will do one more test in a minute. I'll do continuity between those 2 points once I clean and remove the old battery. But first, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of that solder from those 2 joints. And I think I might be able to get a shot of that. So let's start with this left one. I'm going to use soldering wick here. Take my iron and heat up. I'll start with the positive leg. Again, this is just desoldering wick or desoldering braid. And I'll just try to sandwich it between the iron and that leg. And this is probably going to need a lot of heat because this is a multi-layer PCB. You can see it's starting to flow. All right, that looks like it removed some of that old solder. Do another one. All right, that should have been pretty good. That'll at least allow me to heat it up and wiggle that leg out. And then, hopefully I didn't burn it as well. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Let's do 700 exactly. Get some more braid out. There's that other leg, the negative terminal. I'll just rest it into there and look for the braid begin to get shimmery. It's at 700. Oops. And actually just get it wet first. Try again. $750 may have been a better temp to use. I'm gonna turn it back up. 730, sure. And I could reflow that a little bit, but had some flux, but I think I must have left it upstairs. I'm gonna flip the board. Again, I'm using a really weird camera angle, or camera mount situation, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull up some more of that solder from this side. Wait for a beep. Get a good angle. Okay. I think I might be able to just heat it up from this side and wiggle out that negative leg. Let's see it going liquid, but you know what? Actually, I'm just going to cut the legs off. Put less stress on the board. There we go. Far side too. There, that's much tighter. I should have done that from the get-go. And now I can remove the rest of that solder. I'm probably going to flow a little more onto there just to get it wet and then find a way to pull it out. But this way I'm not torquing on the board by trying to wiggle the battery back and forth like that. There's the old battery location. the old battery. I used some electrical contact cleaner to clean up the old flux that was left over from the original installation 30 years ago, and then also I float a little bit of extra solder onto there to make it easier to get the old legs out. So it doesn't look great, but I think that little halo around that is where there was some solder for a long time, or some flux for a long time. Anyway, I did an okay job cleaning that. Yeah, so going back to the other side of the board. You can see it's actually labeled with a battery icon there. I don't know if that's the filter, if it's that IC there, CRL8822L, or if that's what they referred to it as, the filter battery. But since the little icon shows a big battery right there, and the white line goes straight to those inner contacts, I feel comfortable just going ahead and modifying this little coin cell holder to fit that. So, it's sort of hard to show you how much the legs need to be bent, but yeah, sorry about the lighting and the shakiness, but they're about 2 centimeters, maybe 3 or 4 centimeters off. So if I can bend these legs to give me about that much room and see if I can make it seat nicely on there, that should be pretty serviceable. This little piece also comes with, you see there's the legs, the solder, or excuse me, the contacts, but there's also these 3 little plastic nubbins sticking up, and that's a little extra added support. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bend away at those legs, and let's see what we can make happen. So I've had to make a few adjustments to this little guy to make it fit. And I measured the gap between the two, the closest sort of leads that I could have used, and it was 1 inch on the nose. So measuring across 1 inch, I had to sort of bend the leads relatively evenly so that they would be about 1 inch apart, and then they were able to seat directly into the motherboard. Let me see. However, once I got it to that point, so going to the inner 2 pegs, it would seat, but then it would it was wiggling over the tops of these ICs here. These 2 and then this guy were interfering. So what I ended up doing was taking an X-Acto kit and shaving away about 1 millimeter or so from the bottom of here and here, so that would clear the 2 surfaces of those ICs, or I guess 3 surfaces of those ICs. So now it seats pretty nicely, and it even exposes a little bit of the, hold on, excuse me. Sorry about the camera work, but you should be able to see me moving the leads around. That seats pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and solder that into place. Then we should be good to stick a battery inside this thing. Alright, there it is, soldered into place. Seems to be pretty stable. It's not resting on those little feet, but there's plenty of solder on the joint, and should be good to install one of these batteries now. Just a reminder, this is what we're coming from. Let's get in there. Okay, and that should be in there. It looks like this thing is also sort of multi-size, so you can probably fit a smaller one or a flatter one in there, but yeah, that should be good. I guess I'll go ahead and assemble this thing and see if we can power it on. Okay, well, I've remounted the board in the bottom of the machine there. I've got a power cord going to it. It's the first time I've booted this machine in several years. I don't remember running it with the back off before, so this will be exciting. Being mindful of the high voltage left side. Keyboard, mouse. Okay, is everything in? I guess you've got an okay view. All right, let's hit the power. Disk is spinning up, and it's accessing, or that's the floppy. Well, that is the hard drive, nice. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Got some system disks that Lazy Game Reviews sent me probably 10 years ago now. Let's see if they do anything. Happy Mac. Nice, well at least we got something. Looks like hard drive access has stopped. I was worried that I'd wired up that thing wrong. Wired up the LED wrong. Sort of reach around you a little bit. Now I don't know how the time works. I don't remember. But let's see, 9. It is 2. I think today's the 16th. 22. And then let's say it's 7:30 p.m. And I don't remember if it'll save. I would have thought that this would actually set. Okay. Cube. Crank up the brightness a little bit for you. This is system 6.0.8. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what's going on with the hard drive there. 'Cause it sounds like it's spinning. I will eject the disk and see if a reboot does anything. Thank you. I don't remember how to use these things. See if I can zap myself. That does sound like the disc. A few years ago, I did a video on oiling the spindle of that disc, and I'm not about to start whacking it. It's possible I also plugged it back in wrong. It sounds like it's spinning up. And it's seeking, yeah, what the fuck? going on, buddy? Oh, maybe that's the problem. Yeah, not happy. Well, anyway, I'll boot off of the utilities disk again, and maybe we'll see if it's stored that time. Let's see what else I got. Excuse me. $2:16:22. Just keeping the time. I guess I didn't really do a full shutdown or a flea power drain or whatever, but I suppose that we have now successfully changed the clock battery in this thing. I want it to make some noises. Drive does not feel happy. Oh. Yeah, I just broke the drive. Whoops. System folder, Apple HD. SC setup. I wonder if it'll see the disk. Oh, it's been so long since I've used this thing. Oh. Searching for SCSI drive. Yeah, maybe I just connected it wrong or something, but I think that drive is probably on its way out. Nice when it worked. Just kind of concerned we don't have any access here, anything. It's just kind of, what are you doing, little thing? Oh! Unable to locate a suitable drive connected to the SCSI port. Well, my drive needs some troubleshooting. I've got some other SCSI drives, but not from this era, so I'm not... I haven't done the research to know like what will work and what won't work. So I got some work to do, but you know, the clock works again, and the machine still boots, which is, or sort of boots, I guess. I've got some discs to play with. On with this, but that's all for now. Maybe I'll make some more videos if I get the inspiration to continue playing with this guy. Thanks a lot for watching.